Hello, folks. How are you doing? It is Saturday night, the 23rd of March, and I'm just checking in right quick. I have a gig with RAF. We're playing our first show of the year at this thing called the Punk Rock Prom A Go-Go at the Waiting Room, along with some other good bands, Graveyard Smash and some others. Just getting coffeed up, but I thought I'd share. I got a surprise phone call earlier this evening, completely unexpected, something really cool. This will be the first public announcement of it, but I think it's cool. So I got a call from the president of the Nebraska Music Hall of Fame, letting me know that I'd been inducted this year into the Nebraska Music Hall of Fame. Completely blows my mind. I'm honored. These things are, it's like what it means is really, well, it does mean something actually. There's a romantic meaning to the individual who receives it, like myself, but it's also a way of establishing further your what you've done. I'm grasping for words. I hate that about my age. I feel that about that sometimes, that it's like, where is my vocabulary gone? The words are here. I'd have to grasp at them. But it's like, yeah, being recognized, not for one band, but for a plethora of things that I've been involved with regarding music and the history of music in Nebraska. I'm really pleased that they recognize it, because it's not just bands, it's film work. I've been a pioneering black musician, breaking barriers, color barriers regarding rock bands. The first black person in Nebraska to play in a punk rock band, which that's important to me, music of the people, of the streets. My band Digital Sex back in the 80s, when compact discs first hit the market, the only band before us to make a CD in the state of Nebraska was Mannheim Steamroller, Chip Davis. I know you've heard of those Christmas records. That was significant. It was so significant it made the MTV Music News in 120 minutes. Just kind of recapping some of the little things I have to turn in a bio. I've got several bios, but I always need to update them because things keep adding. But I'm excited about this. I called and told my older sister because I needed to tell somebody, you know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you folks because it's exciting. It is one of those things about having a partner or being in an intimate relationship that is important, that is the person that you immediately go to share things with, and I don't have that. So first person I thought of was my big sister. So it's important, and I want to share it. I've received a record from Tom Fazzini that is not going to get reviewed, but I'm going to show it. I'll talk about this in another review. I want to make a recommendation, though. There's a documentary that just went online about Bruce Hack. Bruce Hack is truly a pioneer of electronics, like Robert Moog, Morton Subotnick, even Wendy Carlos. This is a reissue, or rather a compilation put out on Emperor Norton in the 90s. He used to make these electronic records for children. He's been on Mr. Rogers. And this stuff is way ahead of the times. Frankly, because these records were for children, when they were happening, I didn't know about them. I knew about Bruce Hack, though. The reason why I knew about him was because of this record, which came out in 1970, The Electric Lucifer. Now, in 1970, I was 14, 15 years old, still a Christian, and this album cover freaked me out. And it also attracted me. Electronic music, I was very much into it. But I didn't understand, why did they have to associate it with the devil? That really, well, it scared me, Now I know why, because, everything is, well, it's not a conspiracy. It's like, yeah, sell your soul to Satan in order to make $1 million. That's exactly how it goes. So in order for Bruce Hack's manager to get him anywhere with a major label, this is what they made him do. Okay? Bruce Hack is doing all this positive stuff with children, and Miss Nelson, completely running it under their own power. But in order to get the corporation to put anything behind them, they had to go negative. They had to go evil. I ain't making this shit up, people. How in the hell can you be, at this point, how can you be ignorant to it, okay? How can you be ignorant to the blatant, low, dark nature of the entertainment industry? How can you remain ignorant? Come on, people. Are you really that thick? Apparently many of you are. And I'm going to give you shit about it. Wake the fuck up. Played this. Haven't listened to Danielle Dax in a long time. I think I first heard of her when she was in a band called the Lemon Kittens. Unusual way of singing. I don't always follow the words, but I know that the subject matter is a little off kilter. I like the music. It's unusual. It's just a unique approach. You can tell that she's not making the music trying to get into a market. It's like, this is what I hear. Danielle Dax plays for us what she hears, which is always the best. I'm going to show this again because this is one of those records I took a chance on half price, at the half price drastic plastic sale recently. I may not have shown it, but this is one that I took a chance on. Magic Pockets. I took a chance on it because it's out of Ireland, and it's lo-fi home electronics. There's some band relation with this guy's related to some band that I've heard of. I forget right away. But after hearing this 2 or 3 times, I really like this. It's nothing stunning, but it's very I like that tunefulness and, I don't know, kind of a rubbery, bouncy kind of feel to this synthesizer sound. Magic Pockets. Out of Ireland. Isn't that a nice cover too? Another one from the half price sale. Boards of Canada, the 2014 or 2013 remaster of their EP, in a beautiful place out in the country, which is just a fantastic piece of music. It's really, Boards of Canada have a real unique sound. Are these guys from Sweden or Scotland? They're not from Canada. Played this a few times. It's just wonderful. So that's some music right quick. I'm honored. I want to, again, encourage, if you have not watched States of America, a documentary about the United States, if you've not watched my segment on Nebraska, I'm going to leave the link. Please do. I just tell a short story, but it's really resonating with people. When people watch it, they leave a comment on Facebook and let me know, because I tell a story about Nebraska is the good life, but it's the good life with an asterisk when you are not white. And that just really needs to be addressed. I can tell you something, okay? I can relate a new story. So, my friend, let me just make a point here. Everclear, you're right here, aren't you? Come on out. Here we go. Okay. So, you folks most of you have heard of the band from the 90s, Everclear. They had a couple of big hits. Is one of them on here? I've got the other one. Well, Santa Monica is one on here. Anyway, the drummer, I've told you about this. Greg Eklund became friends with me when his family moved here for a couple of years. He's moved to Minneapolis since. But he's currently playing in the band Storm Large and Le Bonheur. If you don't know about Storm Large, please look her up. She is amazing. I met her a couple years ago, but I finally got to see her sing last night. The band is on tour, and they came through Omaha last night. I'm going to get to the racist point in a second. But I was a guest of the band, and they played at the Holland Center in one of the smaller hoity-toity rooms. The Everclear is a collectible green vinyl. These are good songs, too. Greg's a great guy. So anyway, I'm a guest of the band, and Storm Large is not rock and roll. It's not cabaret. It's not Broadway, but it's a mixture of those things because Storm Large is a vocalist. She's also known. She's the current singer with Pink Martini. You know that band? They're huge. Okay, so she has a range. She can really sing. She can really get down gutsy. But anyway, because of the background of Storm Large, it attracts kind of a, it can attract that kind of an audience, but in reality, she's speaking and singing to everyone. What I'm getting at is this. Here in Omaha, how some things have just not changed, okay? This has happened to me so many times over the decades that I will have an interest in an event, musical or cultural of some sort, where I'm interested. Storm Large, she played last night. I'm a friend of the band's, but they're really good. I was the only black person in the audience. The only other black people were working. I've been to way too many events over the years here in Nebraska where that's the case, where nothing changes. The segregation, where I guess people naturally segregate themselves. I mean, don't tell me that black people wouldn't be interested in Storm Large. There's this big cutoff of interaction and connection between mainstream Omaha, Nebraska, and the black communities. There is. And I'm always going to talk about it. The friends that joined me at my table at the show, I pointed it out to them, and they were embarrassed because they didn't think anything about it, It's not like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like people want to say, oh, things are so much better. They're not. They're not. Racism is horrible. It's just fucking horrible. And Storm Large talked about it as well as the sexism. She almost went political. She pulled back. The woman is smart, because she knew that she was dealing with an audience that is obviously a mix. And with money, an audience of money, you're dealing with Trumpers, for sure. So she was skilled the way she put it, She's saying what I'm saying, which is, you're a fool and you're a low, selfish, immature person to be so self-centered to think that there's anything sensible about taking sides about politics, about money, liberal versus conservative, poor versus rich, which is where we're at, black versus white, you know what I'm saying, straight versus all of the sexual identities that people embrace. It's foolish, it's not wise, it's not smart, and people are not good people who are acting and thinking this way. I'm busting you. You can't make excuses for it. People that rally around the rich, it's a selfish thing. Just because you got $1 million, you think you're rich. $1 million don't make you rich anymore. And you think that the super rich who really have everything care about you and that they include you? Please. I'll say one more thing on that. Nebraska is devastated. Middle America and Iowa, Missouri, even parts of Wisconsin, the flooding. We're still not done with the cumulative effect as things dry out. I want to see how our nation's government actually reacts and responds to the actual needs of the people of the Midwest. We'll find out if the elite, they're not even the elite, the super rich fuckers and the government, whoever these ass people are, if they really care about America. I say they don't. I certainly hope what happened to Puerto Rico and New Orleans doesn't happen here, that they fix up the tourist areas and they leave the real people in ruins. I know folks who live in New Orleans. A lot of those neighborhoods are just rotting. Puerto Rico, my friend Hugo, who's out of jail now, he went to Puerto Rico. The only place that they have restored are the tourist areas. So this is not a good thing. And making excuses for this is just, it's low. It's low down. Low. Choosing sides, rich versus poor, black versus white. What is wrong with this world?